What's up, beautiful babies? Welcome to another episode of Get Close. I'm your only favorite host, Gio.
And I'm just a random person named Bart.
Yeah, the random dude.
I was thinking when I was taking a nap earlier.
Wait, how the fuck are you thinking while taking a nap?
You don't do that?
You mean dreaming?
Maybe dream thinking? Or threaming? You don't thream?
No.
So you know in that phase before you like really go to sleep into dreaming and then your thoughts are wandering, there's that little limbo phase that you're kind of in control of the dream but you're not and your brain just wanders.
Never.
How do you fall asleep? What the?
I'm just out like a light. Like a light.
Really? So you're just like this. You're like, barring Pinterest.
Yep.
Like that. There's no
Literally.
in between?
Nope.
Oh, wow. I know when I'm falling asleep.
Well, I'm falling asleep because I'm going talking, dead, talking, dead, talking, dead, dead.
Wow, you're not in control.
No, that's I'll jolt.
Because mine is like this. I could be like this on my phone, right? Like, let's say we're like, it's all nice and dark, took a shower, it's all like calm and comfortable. I can go like this. Oh, it's happening. Okay, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Okay, it's happening. Okay.
Wait, what did you just mix? What are you drinking? What was that? What did you stir?
This is my water.
What, with a straw and you stirred it? Oh, because you want.
But
ice in there?
I'm already asleep. I'm drinking while asleep. I already technically fell. I already fell asleep and I'm turning off the light.
No,
It's
I can't.
the opposite of what you do. Because you know, for you,
I'm
like
dead.
I'm like, hey babe, like in the morning, right? Hey babe, are you awake? You're like, no, I am not awake right now whatsoever. I'm not. I am not awake at all.
It is opposite.
And then I'm like, what's 1 + 1? You're like 2. I'm like, okay. And then later I go, hey babe, remember when I was asking you a question, you're blowing drying your hair? You're like,
no, not at all.
so yeah, you're in control of your awaking process. I'm in control of my falling asleep process.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is crazy because I just die.
Yeah.
And you see me go.
No, I could feel it. As soon as I feel it, I'm like, oh shit, I'm already sleeping, but I could still have a few moments to do what I want.
Okay, so in the threaming.
Yeah. I was like, man, looking back, having been on YouTube since 2007 or me, 2007, that's 15 years this year, right? And I'm like, through that, I've experienced some crazy stuff, but then also even before that, I've experienced some crazy stuff. So like, and sometimes
So you just experienced crazy stuff your whole life? Is that what you're saying?
here and there, but then also I don't realize that how crazy they are, or sometimes I'm not remembered of it or reminded of it.
What the fuck is going on? Are you threaming?
Yes. I'm not reminded of it until I have conversations. So I wanted to ask you, what are some of like the highlight moments of your life that you've had that like, holy shit, this is happening?
Highlight moments, okay. So one of them would be like filming JK skits out in public, and you guys are dressed as women.
That's a highlight moment for you?
It is, and this is why, because I was always super sheltered. I always wanted to do fun shit, right? Like obviously my definition of fun, couldn't do any of that shit. Was on complete lockdown restriction. Parents were super fucking strict. Then I go into the workforce, and then I'm following the traditional path because I didn't know that there was another path that I could even take. I had no idea that existed. Then hating my fucking job, and then ending up watching my boyfriend and my friends cross-dress and play games and make a living off of it. I was like, holy motherfucking shit, this is so fucking tight. And it wasn't even like when we were already making like real money in YouTube. It was like before then. It was the fact that I was doing some shit that I couldn't wait to do every single day. And that was like to show up in the office and create and build shit. Like that to me was such a moment because I'm like, I'm actually pretty broke.
Because you couldn't imagine a life where you actually created and did what you want for a living. Is that why?
I didn't imagine a life being so fun. Like, this is my job now. Like, I had never experienced anything that fun, that freeing, that open, that accepting. Like, there was never a phase in that, like my whole life, that I could do anything like that, because there was always a structure and rules and things that you have to follow. Yeah, I don't think I ever had that. There was always a goal that I needed to hit. There was always things that I needed to like tick off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it was like watching, like just us fucking off and making people happy and having a really positive message and ultimately having a really positive impact on a community of people, that I was like, and I get paid to do this? Holy shit. Like, it was such a rad, like, realization.
Oh, I see.
It was so rad. Yeah. I don't think you understand how little, I mean, you do understand. Who am I talking to? But how little freedom I had and how much I was dying inside. You do understand.
I do understand.
But it maybe not as, I guess you do understand, but you got your wiggles out when you started rebelling. I never rebelled.
And was that moment bigger than, remember when we were pitching JK News as a TV show?
Yeah, that didn't matter to me.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Holy shit.
Because I wasn't doing it to be on TV. I was never doing it to be famous. I was never doing it to make money. I was doing it because it was such a dope message, and it was such a dope experience. Like building some shit out of nothing, like creating these funny skits. Like, honestly, like us pitching this show to have it be a TV show, I actually didn't like that idea at all.
Really?
I didn't want that at all. Because then I just felt like these people that don't know anything about YouTube, how it works, don't understand our community, don't understand us as people. They're following their business model. Like, why would I want to water down something that is so fucking rad already? Like, I just, like, did you ever see me get super hype? Like,
No.
was I ever like, ooh, I can't wait? Nah. Because I was just like, there's these, like, suit wearing people now gonna try to tell us how to, like, do our shit. I'm like, that is not
I viewed it so completely different. So for me, I don't think, like, in that moment of like transitioning from this is what I went to college and I was set to do, to kind of breaking free and then starting to do JK and shoot the crazy skits and have the complete schedule, and literally like your entire destiny is up to your own hands. If we want to shoot 10 skits in a day or one a month, however much money we made, or everything is
It's all on us.
It's all on us, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't like a, oh shit, I can't believe I'm here moment. That was more of a like, oh shit, I hope this works and we need to survive. Because I think maybe that Asian guilt or something, like me knowing that I broke free from the traditional like doctor, lawyer, engineer path, broke away from school, that I was just like this haunting thing of my parents of like, this better work, or else I can't, or it's going to be a,
you didn't enjoy it.
or it's going to be a, I told you so, get your ass back to school. So I think that was
and who cares that they say I told you so? So what?
that's, I mean, by the time you're an adult, that's the last thing at that age that you want to hear.
Oh man, I didn't give a fuck.
Because that would have been the, I don't know, 97th I told you so. And then from that point on, they're like, now, do you trust me?
I'd be like,
So,
no,
so
never,
now,
because you don't know me.
because then now, because of this, that's the last one. I'm going to tell you who you're going to marry, when you're going to marry, what house you're going to buy, what car you're going to buy.
That
like,
could
that's
never happen.
That's like
with
the
me.
Asian style, right? Because it's like, I let you try in first grade. You fucked up. I let you try in second grade. You fucked up. You know, and it's like this. And I let you try for the last time when you graduated college and you fucked up again. Am I going to let you try again? No. From this point on, you're only breathing when I tell you to breathe.
Damn, I could never.
Yeah. So for that I think for me, it was like it was like one side extremely fun, but the other side, I was like, oh, fuck, I hope this works. I hope this works. We better hustle our fucking asses off, and not even hustle our asses off as if like I had like supportive American parents. Like, come on, you got this. We'll help you. We'll support you at your shows. It was more of like, if I fail, it's like my back is against flames.
What?
Yeah, it felt like that.
Crazy. I had no cares. No cares at all. Like, I was
Wow.
already the black sheep. I didn't have a really good relationship with my parents. Like, I was already a fuck off, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I was always, like, I didn't need to, like, I always felt like, for as far back as I can remember, I always needed to convince my parents that my way was correct for me.
Yeah.
You know, so I was always doing that. So I think I just got used to that. Going like, you don't understand. You don't get it. You know? And then them going like, you're so stupid. Like, why would you give up a good job? Why would you do, like, just everything I ever did was just the worst decision ever.
Have you ever won in that competition?
In what competition?
The one you just said.
I'm winning now.
No. But prior, obviously now I'm talking about before.
Well, I did everything that. Well, I didn't do everything that they wanted me to do, but like I followed the path, the secure path, right? Like, I guess once I moved out on my own, that was already.
So I think that's probably the difference. I've literally failed 1,000 times. Like been arrested, been kicked out of school, switched. Like so. I think for me, it's like this is my first freedom moment that I earned for myself. I have to capitalize on this privilege. Right? Because you were goody two shoes. So it's like you never really had you never failed. In that competition, you never really failed. It was like, go to school, okay, stay inside, okay. Go to school,
true,
okay.
True, I didn't
So
rebel,
it's okay. And then so for you're like, I'm an adult now. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
For me, it's like, go to this, fuck you, fail. So you're coming crawling back home. Do this, fail. Oh, so you're crawling back home
Got
again.
it.
So it's crawling back home 7,000 times where it's like, hey, you better get your ass and fucking go to medical school. I'm like, no, this time. And he's like, oh, this time? What about the other 9,000 other times? So I know that if I failed, then it was like, we're done doing this fucking crawling on your knees game, buddy.
Got it.
It's like that.
Yeah. No, I followed what they wanted, up until the point where I'm like, all right, I'm grown now. That's it. You can't control it anymore. You were able to control it this far. I let you. I still kind of rebelled in my own way, but not as hard as you at all. Not even close. And then I was like, that's it. You can't tell me shit anymore.
Yeah. So I think for me, when we first started pitching JK News as a TV show, the part that I was like, oh shit, is like growing up in LA, you drive up and down like the 101, right? The 405 and stuff. And you see the NBC building, the Universal building, you see all those buildings. And in your mind, you tie the two and two together. You're like, oh, fuck. Like that's where the meetings go down for like The Walking Dead or like Sons of Anarchy or like Robin Big. Like, you tie all that stuff together. But you never know what goes on in those buildings. So, and you watch a bunch of like TV type shows like The Entourage or whatever, like Hollywood shows. So you kind of have a glimpse of what goes on inside those buildings, but not really. And then so from a perspective of, I don't want this to fail, to JK doing pretty good, right? Like we're able to feed like a team of like 20, 30 people where no one really had to have another job. Like that's doing pretty damn good. So that was like, okay, cool. Check that box. I'm not crawling back to my parents. We're good. In my mind though, because we invented everything ourselves, our shooting style, our own shooting schedule, even assigning each other roles. Like you are in charge of writing the next JK Party Challenge, and you're the Scorpion Gatherer, and you're this guy, and you're gonna clean Bart's piss off the tree, and like we're literally just fucking ragtag everything. So for a ragtag group that invented everything, I was like, we're on the fucking 34th floor of this building, and we're gonna meet the VP of MTV. This is fucking crazy. Like I felt like it's someone that taught themselves how to street fight and then somehow ended up in Dana White's room.
That's pretty tight.
And I'm like, these moments like this is what history books are made of. History books aren't made of like the former scenario where you talk about where this guy, he became completely creative and then he took his life into his own hands. Like that doesn't make the history pages. What makes the history pages is if there was like of something of like 2000 to 2020, it's like these guys came from nothing, and like The Rock, right? He came from nothing and then now have the biggest TV show on whatever. So I was like, oh shit, we're on track. This is fucking crazy. And then so almost every single meeting that we had from MTV, NBC, whatever, Comedy Central, when I go in those buildings, I was just like taking it all in. I was like studying the elevators, the elevator buttons, the fucking receptionist. I was like, oh shit, they got water stored over there. This is fucking crazy. Yeah, that's how like that was like one of the highlight moments of that era.
So that's your highlight moment.
No, I got tons of highlight moments, but that's
okay.
I was just saying like I wanted to share like because these things like when I talk to Tycho when I'm playing with him, I feel like it's one of those conversations where like one day he'll talk to me and I'm like, oh yeah, Papa used to pitch TV shows too. And he goes, yeah, fucking right. And I'm like, I honestly I did. And it says NBC, Comedy Central, and I'll list all of them. He's like, yeah, all right, my fucking dad is fucking, I'm like, yeah, I was in the VP with MTV programming. He's like, oh God, okay, Dad, okay, you sit, But then when I don't want these moments to like just disappear, because now in this phase of my life, a lot of these moments I've noticed have been subdued, and I'm not as impressed by myself anymore. But when we talk about it, I'm like, oh shit, we fucking did a lot. Like even when I'm shooting JK News with the current cast right now, like I'm sitting there, we're having a fucking good ass time, right? And I'm like, dude, this motherfucker won a TV show.
Yeah.
This guy got second place
at
at a TV show. And I'm like,
my God.
And they're here sitting on IKEA furniture in a fucking building,
Hey, those are not IKEA chairs, bro.
Yeah. But it was like, it's like stuff
Those
like
are
that.
Expensive chairs.
It's stuff that reminds me of like, wow, that was fucking cool.
Yeah, I think we have a thing, and this could be like culturally how we were raised.
Yeah.
Like, we don't ever really celebrate any of our victories. You know what I mean? Like, we've done a lot, but when have we ever like had this conversation?
Yeah, never. That's why I was like, dude, we fucking did a lot, but we never like celebrate or even debrief. It's literally like we do that meeting, and whether it goes good or not, it's like, okay, we pretend like it didn't even happen. Okay, so we get Korean barbecue, and it's just like a day as usual for us. Dude, guys, this is fucking awesome. I can't believe we did this. All the hard work. There's like none of that stuff. No brief before and no debrief after.
Yeah, it's kind of like embarrassing a little bit to be put in like in the limelight like that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess I'm just because I'm doing my job. I'm supposed to be doing this. This is why we're here. Because I did a good job. Yeah, we don't ever talk about any of that shit. I even feel weird talking about it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm like, well, what's the point? What's the point?
To celebrate and to remember.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these stories, like when I, when I was doing my Times 100, my little mentorship group, or when we get booked to do shows, when I like tell these stories, it's like very like inspiring, and it's a peek into a world that not many have seen before.
Yeah.
Like the other day we were talking, and we're like, we're going on our JK walks, right? And then we're just talking, and then I was sharing with all the dudes. I was like, yeah, Taika like loves Blade right now. Like that's his favorite movie. And they're like, oh man, they should bring it back. And they're like, oh dude, they are bringing it back. And I'm like, who the fuck's gonna play him? Who's fucking cooler than Wesley Snipes? Like Wesley Snipes actually has martial arts training. And then someone said the actual name of the new actor, and I barely even knew him. And I'm like, dude, he's not gonna have that Wesley Snipes swag. And then we started talking, like, oh, you know who'd be awesome? Michael Jai White. I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, dude, did you know I've been at a party with him? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, a house party too. He was standing right next to me, and I was fucking like scoping him up and down. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's huge. And stuff like that, where like early on in JK, when this is before I think even you or Casey even came on the team. This was just me and Joe and Danny shooting. This guy named Arnold Chan, who's like a pretty big guy in the stunt world. He was such a big fan that he was like, can he come over to my house? I'm gonna host a UFC. And I'm like, oh shit, I recognize that guy. Because I used to watch a lot of the Paul Mitchell like karate championship like competition videos.
Paul Mitchell, the hair guy?
Yeah, I don't know why, but he hosted all these karate like, so if you ever see like flashy nunchucks or people like dun 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 dun, like some crazy like music with karate. I don't know why, but they're the ones that threw all those events. So, and then Arnold would win them all the time. And I'm like, that's fucking Arnold. He reached out to me. What the fuck? So I remember going to his house, and then he's like, hey, what's up, man? And dude, I would just see like a bunch of who's that I recognize in a bunch of movies. I'm like, oh, dude, that's fucking henchman number 5 in like Asia, in like, let's say Rush Hour, the big Asian guy that carried the guy over there. And I would just see. And then next to the couch was fucking Wesley Snipes. He was sitting on the couch with his mom. Like, this is how fucking chill and laid back it is with his mom. Because him and Arnold actually grew up, I think, like in Virginia together, or they trained karate or martial arts together. And I'm watching the fight with Wesley Snipes, and Wesley Snipes is just cracking jokes and shit. And I'm like, I don't even know if it was funny or not.
You can't even hear.
But I just wanted to be in it, you know. And I look over and I'm like, what the fuck? That's Michael Jai White. That's motherfucking Spawn. That's Universal Soldier. What the fuck's going on? You know? And then I said, "What is that? Dustin Nguyen? The fuck from 21 Jump Street, the original one?" I'm like, "What the fuck? This is fucking crazy." And then like I was almost scared for anyone to ask what me and Joe did or like how we know Arnold, because I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we do like this, like every day, go to school, to But that was one of those like, oh shit moments too. Like I've
Oh,
actually
damn.
been in a house with Wesley Snipes and Michael Jai White. This episode is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Certain people just make my life so much easier, and I don't even know what I'd do without them. Like, for example, in both my companies, in JK and Barbell Brigade, I have a set manager for both. And what that allows me to do is to stay creative and stay on the visionary aspect, because like honest to God, I'm actually not that good at operations and logistics and like all the fine details of things and making sure that this department communicates with the other department and they work synergistically. That is definitely not one of my traits. My traits is thinking kind of outside the box and, creating new pathways for the business and for it to scale. So I'm super happy that I'm able to have managers in both companies that are able to kind of take my weakness, turn that into a strength for the company, because that's their strength and I can focus on my strength. And so if you have a growing business and you need to hire, ZipRecruiter makes hiring so much easier because they do the work for you. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/getclose. ZipRecruiter uses a powerful technology to find and match the right candidates with your job, and you can easily review these recommended candidates and even invite your top choices to apply, which is awesome because usually it would be people just applying, directly if they heard about your company. But if you're a growing business, not that many people might even know what you do. So it's cool to be able to go under just the candidate section and just invite people like, hey, I know you might not have heard of my growing company, but I need or could use someone just like you, and we can have a great relationship. And you invite them to apply, which is 6. So 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So if you're in a fast-paced industry, this is freaking awesome. In fact, the hardest thing you have to do is remember our special URL. So make sure to just use that, ziprecruiter.com/getclose. That's where you go to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/GETCLOSE.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I don't know if my moments are like that though, where it's like, it seems like yours hit like a certain like accolades like threshold. You know what I mean? Like, for
It
you,
doesn't
it's
have to be.
okay. Well, these two sound like it.
But I mean, I'm just talking about any moment that you're like, it's a oh shit moment. So it could be like fucking tied up in the back of a trunk. Oh shit, I'm here. Yep, I'm kidnapped. What the fuck? This is crazy. Why am I in Baja California? I don't know.
Why do you keep talking like that?
Because it's an oh shit moment. That's why oh shit moments, don't they feel
You're
like that?
like going like this.
Don't like oh shit moments like they feel like that, It's almost an out of body experience.
Damn. I don't know. I'm like the worst when fucking calling back memories, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
What
We've
about
had
okay?
this conversation.
Okay, what about this? What about when JK got booked to do an Australia tour, and we're touring with Poriotics, and we're flying, and we know we're hitting Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth. We're doing a fucking nationwide tour. We're on posters everywhere. There was not a single oh shit moment, like because growing up, when I hear people go on tour, I'm thinking of like fucking Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Or like fucking 98 Degrees or some shit. Like
Yeah.
people when they say I'm going on tour, it's like some big ass fucking people.
Yeah.
You don't hear local bands going like, oh yeah, I'm going on tour. It's like, oh shit, you're going on tour? Dude, that's like some Green Day shit,
Yeah.
So when I was like, so when people go, oh, where are you going next? I'm going on tour. I'm like, as it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, oh shit, I said it. I said those fucking Green Day type words. I'm going on tour. How many cities? 4 cities. You didn't have that feeling?
Mm-mm.
What was you? You're just like, oh, this is fucking, I'm just going to Australia, whatever the fuck.
I think because I was in such a big planning mode and I wanted to make sure everything was running smoothly. I think I was having your moment of not being able to enjoy it because there was so much pressure.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm the one booking everything. I'm the one coordinating everything. I'm the one like sending in like the writer and making sure we get paid and making sure that you guys are okay. Like I was just so work that like yeah, I didn't have an oh shit moment. It was just like, this is tight, but I got to make sure everything runs smoothly.
What about when we were in, I think it was Sydney, and we were in that historical building that they said Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber performs at?
Mm-mm.
And then, damn, because when they told us that, and then we came on stage, and I saw like the thousands of people that was a packed house, I was like, oh, it was another like, oh shit, this is Justin Bieber performed, Lady Gaga performed. And then when I went downstairs to the green room to change, I was like, this is where the greats have changed. Holy shit.
No.
Wow, never?
Mm-mm. Well, I think because I was too focused on, again, making sure everything runs smoothly. Because so, like, I need you guys to, like, perform. I need you guys to be happy and creative and only focus on your craft. So I was taking on a lot of, like, the stress, you know? Like, your guys' stress is the performance stress. My stress, and, like, nailing it, my stress was, like, all the logistics.
What about this?
Okay.
What about when we were in more close proximity with the Stereotypes?
Okay.
And you're at their studio in West LA, and Christina Milian walks in. You were like, oh shit, that's Christina Milian.
No, because it's Christina Milian.
What the fuck? She's big.
Not in my world, she wasn't big. I didn't care for R&B and any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, she was just someone that, like,
what about walking through the hallways and seeing, like, platinum records from Bieber, like platinum records from, like...
Well, I interned at Universal Music, so I had already experienced stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's not a personal interaction. That's more of like, I'm here to work.
Yeah, but I was still exposed to it. You know what I mean? Like, that time I walked into Universal for the first time, that was an oh shit moment for me, because I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm a chick from the fucking barrio that's
Talk
like...
about that moment.
That's like, here, this is wild.
Yeah, that's what
I mean, I have a lot of those, but not pertaining necessarily to JK.
It doesn't have to be JK. That's what I was saying. Even if you're kidnapped in a trunk. That's
okay.
that's a oh shit moment.
I was trying to tie it back to a J. I'm like, what?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
like,
fine.
It could
An
be
oh shit
any moment
then?
that you found yourself in a oh shit. Like, you could be tied up in a trunk in Baja California, like you got kidnapped by the cartel.
Fine. The first oh shit that I can think of is when I had my really big accident, like the one that left me with scars on my face.
Yeah.
So we were at my uncle's ranch out in like Valencia or some shit like that, and like at this time my sister's boyfriend was like a heavy mechanic. He loved buying like beat up cars and bikes and just any toy, and he loved fixing them. And he was like a really he was like a brainiac when it came to restoring things.
Mm-hmm.
So he had bought a motorcycle and this quad, and we were gonna go spend like the weekend out there. We're gonna have like a barbecue, live band. Like, it was just gonna be fun times, right? Because it's just fucking dead, and he has acres and acres of land. So we were just gonna fuck off. So we're there, and I'm like my dad's favorite. I'll say it. I don't know. My siblings might think they're their favorite, but I'm for sure his fucking favorite. So it was, we were gonna go racing, and he would call me Prieta, which is like, it doesn't matter. So
Why is that
like,
a bad derogatory term?
Well, kind of. Well, it's not derogatory, but like dark skinned girl or whatever,
Okay.
right? But it loses its
Lost in translation.
well, it loses its like cuniness in translation. Like, it just sounds harsh.
Oh,
You know?
is it kind of one of those things where like
It's like an endearing
like
term.
when I call Taika like stinker?
Yes.
It's like
that.
I don't really mean he's stinky.
Yeah, because he's not stinky.
But it's cuny
Right.
that he's my little stinker.
And Prieta too is more so like saying like I'm like, he would say, because I was like a dirty little tomboy girl that was like, I hated taking showers, so like I had like dirt on my neck and shit.
Change.
So
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
I mean, I'm glad you took a shower on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you. So he's like, hey Prieta, let's go, you know? And we were gonna race, and we were just gonna ride out with my sister's boyfriend at the time. So he speeds up, we're behind him. Because he had bought this stuff, like, he was still in the middle of restoring it. We don't have seatbelts. I don't have a helmet. We didn't think we were gonna go that nuts. Or maybe we just thought we were safer, or maybe my dad just made a fucking dumb decision. My sister's boyfriend speeds up. He like swerves. I'm not paying attention to it because I'm like, what, 9? I'm like a little ass kid. And all I remember is seeing this big ass like dent, ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah. The quad gets...
Where were you? You're sitting in the front?
In the front, like, between my dad's legs.
Oh, shit, okay.
And he's, like, driving.
You guys were
and
racing?
I'm here. Yeah. Well, we were just following him.
Oh, okay.
But we were going fast. And so I see this ditch approaching. We get stuck. We get launched out. And all I remember hearing is just the dirt underneath me as I fell. It's just like, you know, when you're walking or like you scrape your foot?
Yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the dirt and the rocks and stuff. And then I just remember feeling really hot on my face. And like from that point until my sister got there, I don't really remember. I don't even know. Maybe he drove off because there's no cell phones at this time. And then I'm in the car. We're driving to the emergency room.
Oh, you probably got knocked out, huh?
Probably.
You're unconscious.
We're driving in. Yeah, we're in the car. And I remember like I couldn't see out of this eye. I don't know why, but I couldn't see out of this eye.
Did that freak you out?
No. And then my sister, yeah, I didn't know what was happening.
You weren't like, holy fuck, I can't see, what the fuck?
No, because everyone was like, you're gonna be fine, everything's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine, right? My sister's like, Gio, you can't fall asleep, dude. You can't fall asleep. Please wake up. Wake up, wake up. And she kept going, wake up. And I was like, I'm awake. But she's like, it was just my eye was swollen.
Oh.
So I'm at the ER, get x-rays, and the doctor's like, I'm so surprised you didn't break any bone in your face because that was such a hard fall.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, oh fuck, like I'm in a fucking hospital right now, and like I had a big ass accident. Like it was a fucking pretty gnarly accident. My dad's fucking head was all bandaged.
Oh
and
shit, your dad got fucked up too?
yeah, he got fucked up. And we were both pretty fucked up. Like I think I slept for like maybe 2 days, and like
Whoa.
it was, my face was all like all of this was just fucked up, and I was scratched all over. And I was like, and everyone was being so nice to me. Like all my siblings were being so nice to me, and people were checking in on me, and I was like not used to it. And I'm like,
you didn't get a chance to see what you look like?
maybe a few days later, and I looked pretty fucked up. Like my eye was all fat, and like
Wow.
that, I had ointment all over my face, so I was
Yeah.
just all glossy and shit. And I'm like, fuck, I could have died. And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. That was a big one for me.
Wow. Did your mom like go, yeah, you're not taking our daughters out anymore?
I don't know. I don't remember them having that type of conversation. I think my dad, like I remember seeing my dad crying for me. My brother cried for me. They were really scared. So I don't even know why they were crying, because when I think back at it, unless they downplayed it a lot, which now I'm thinking they did, because like you said, once you recall the memories, but like I'm like, why would they cry unless it was really bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they came to my bedside and they were crying. But I was in so much pain, I remember. Like my whole body fucking hurt.
One of the ocean moments that I had too was this was when I was in the Marine Corps. And so my job was supply administration. So I'm supposed to be like running a warehouse, keeping inventory of equipment and all that stuff like that. And but what was crazy is whatever I went to MOS school for, MOS was your job schooling, when I got to my unit, I did none of it. Because my unit was so special. It was 3rd Anglico, which stands for Air Naval Gun Liaison Company. So they did a lot of really special things as a unit because they supported a lot of like the special operations stuff.
Oh, cool.
So we were able to get into a lot of like secret bases on Camp Pendleton. And this was like the first time, because you know, Marine Corps is all about regulations, which is like tight haircuts, like, you know, pressed uniforms, all that shit. This is the first time where we went into Camp Pendleton behind like some sort of like secret fence that's inside a camp. So it's like a base inside of a base inside of a base. We show up, and then the Marines that greet us, they're like kind of lower rank, like corporals or whatever, and they have like earrings and shit and fucking beards, and then they're like half uniform, half not. So like denim pants and then uniform top. All of these
You're
are
like,
completely
what is going on?
you cannot fucking do that. They're talking to our officers, not saying sir or anything, just talking to them like buds and shit. And I'm like, this is some fucking crazy shit. So that's just like one example of like the type of cool stuff we're able to do. But my oh shit moment is because our unit is so small, and our CO, which is our company commander, like he wants our unit to be like fucking tough, active, and nimble. So he doesn't give a fuck what anyone's job is. He wants everyone to stay like locked in. So when we go out to the field, which is pretty much like once every single month, they'll go like, hey, I want every department or every section to send a Marine. So that means like you could be motor T, or you could be, which is motor transport, or you could be personal admin, or you could be supply, you could be whatever. Every section has to send one Marine. So when you're the junior Marine, they're going to send you, because if not, if you get to stay back, Then you have a normal military schedule. Show up at like, I don't know, like 6 or something. Go home at 4. Go home, sleep, party, do whatever. Come back the next day.
Yeah, so they don't want to go.
Yeah, but if you're in the field, you're sleeping there and your ass is there the whole weekend, which could be 2, 3, 4 days or whatever, right? So I'm always the one getting sent because I'm the new Marine. So I go, and then they force some jobs onto me because most of my unit is full of forward observers. They're the guys that are like, in terms of like in battle, they're the guys that jump out of airplanes, like kind of, and then they're able to like do some recon type stuff, look at things, and then call for fire if they need to. That's where like the air, naval, gun liaison ties into together. So my unit had a lot of like FOs, which is our forward observers. So they're usually doing FO shit, which is like pretty cool shit where I go like, man, I should have signed up for this shit. Man, my recruiter did a really bad job explaining jobs.
Yeah, he was sleeping under a desk, dude. What did you want?
Yeah, so I go there. They're forcing a job for me to do because I'm not qualified to do some of the other stuff. And this is one of the biggest oh shit moments. So we had a live call for fire exercise. And I remember I'm sitting in the back of a 7-ton or like those really giant military looking like semi trucks. I'm sitting on the back with my legs dangling because I already did what I needed to do. Everything else is besides what I'm qualified to do. And they do a call for fire, which means these forward observers, they call for exact coordinate for people to come down and like unleash hell on. So I see them go out there, map, get the coordinates, whatever. They phone it in, and then you see these jets come from like way far away, like this. And then I was like, holy fuck, am I in a Michael Bay movie? What the fuck is this? Because up to then, most of your training is like a lot of like tough personal stuff. Hiking, fucking miles and miles and miles and miles. You know, like fucking digging foxholes and shit. Sleeping in there, fucking at the range. Pew, 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 pew. So a lot of it is like kind of like ground infantry work. You don't really get to see like the other flexes of the military. You know, like Black Hawk, like that kind of shit or whatever, right? So you see,
you don't see any of the shit that they pitched in the commercial.
Yeah, you don't get to see like Top Gun shit.
You're not crawling out of fucking, what are they, ponds or whatever that a swamp.
Yeah, you're doing like grunt infantry stuff. And then I see this like that, and when they flew by, and the whole fucking ground is shaking, and I'm like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. It was like the craziest fireworks and shit that I've ever seen. You just see them take off, fucking like fly in formation, fly out in formation.
How cool.
And then it's like literally seconds, but me with the knowledge that I know, I'm like, dude, that was fucking millions of dollars. You know, jet fuel, missiles, all that shit. And to be able to have like experienced that, and I was like, damn. Like, I think that was the moment that made me really grateful, because at that moment I'm trying to get my bachelor's at UCLA, right? So when I'm trying to get my bachelor's at UCLA, every single weekend I need to study. So when I go to my reserve duty, I'm always like praying to God. I'm like, don't send me to the field. Don't send me to the field because I need to go back and study. Please, 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 please. And when every time they send me to the field, I'm like, fuck. Now I gotta go
Xerox.
Yeah, I gotta go fucking Xerox some bio books or some shit that's gonna throw my schedule all out of whack. I can't lift either, so there goes my fucking gains. So I'll pour like protein powder in a Ziploc bag and stuff it in my cargo pocket. And I gotta do all this fucking weird shit. But when I was at that moment and I saw all of that go down, I'm like, damn, I saw a live call for fire, which I would have never have been able to see because I would have just been in the library studying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was fucking cool.
That is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Fine. Another oh shit moment for me is the first time I actually got to fly to Paris on my own, like without family, and like that was with you. That was my first like real international flight. Like I had been to Mexico, but I was so little, and like Mexico's so like close, not to knock on Mexico or anything, but I just didn't consider
it. Doesn't feel international.
Yeah.
It's like crossing into Canada. It's like, yes, it's international, and you need a passport, but it doesn't feel international.
Yeah, so that was like super life-changing for me because so much had changed in my life at that point. Like I had defied my parents' rules, I guess, and I left the house without being married I actually got their consent, which is dope. And at that time I had already repaired, or I was in the beginning phases of repairing my relationship with my dad, whom I hadn't talked to, even though we lived in the same house for like 4 years. like several years. I can't even remember now because it's so old now. But that move, or me pitching that move, is what prompted us to start talking again. Because I was like, hey, you know what? I have to talk to you about something. I know I fucked up. I know, like, for all these years we haven't talked. We don't like each other, whatever, whatever. I just want to say on my part that I'm sorry for anything that happened, but I will be moving out. You know, this is my plan or whatever. And then that was also a big oh shit moment for me too, where I'm like, holy fuck.
Like you're having the
an
talk.
adult conversation with my dad. One, that's a very adult conversation with my dad. Two, I'm actually going to move out. Three,
Which your other two older siblings didn't even do.
no.
They followed the path, which is married and then get out.
Yeah. Like, I stood up to the big beast.
Yeah,
right? Like,
it's a big deal.
I stood up to the big guy. Like, he's the fucking. Our house is a country, and he's like the prime minister. Like, he is the guy.
Or the dictator, probably.
The dictator, for sure. He is the dick. I'm just kidding. I love you, Dad. But yeah, like, I stood up to that, you know? And like, to have an adult conversation and to have him talk back to me, and we like actually squash it, that was an oh shit moment for me.
That's cool.
So then moving out, he actually helped me move out, which is another kind of like miniature oh shit, because I'm like, holy fuck, like, not only do I have his support, he's actually helping me out. So then we get together. I've been saving, or we have like our little travel fund that we like put money in every single month. We're finally able to afford a trip out to Paris. I think
all we put was like $100 each a month too.
Yeah.
But then years later, that was like $2,400.
Yeah, and it was perfect. That's all we needed. We were still broke, but we made it happen. I remember flying into Paris, and like, I was like I don't even know if you remember, but I was crying. Like, I just, like, maybe I was fighting my tears back because I wasn't very vulnerable back then, but like, I was like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe I made this happen. Like, oh, how am I here right now? This is so fucking crazy. Like, I was so moved.
That's cuny.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you saw through the window?
So everything was snowing, and that's when we were like, fuck, we packed all the wrong clothes. And we were just flying into like a lot of farmland. It was just like empty fields everywhere. And I'm like, holy shit. And that changed my perspective on life forever. Like, that trip, I'm like, I ain't shit. I want more of this. I'm so tiny. The city I grew up in is so insignificant. Like, I need more of this. Like, I need to expand my horizons like crazy. Like, it really put into perspective how little I had lived. Even though I was like 20 something, I'm still fairly young, but I'm like, I haven't experienced shit.
That is crazy when you go into another country. Because I think growing up, you always think like your city's the shit or whatever. And you feel
you think everything is America.
Yeah. And you feel like you know everything. And then you go to another country, and then the little old language that you grew up on is insignificant there. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you hear music playing from restaurants, and you're like, hey, that's that Ratatouille shit.
Ratatouille didn't exist yet. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but you hear like
that's that mime shit.
Yeah, you hear that fucking French shit. And then you're like, damn, that's a real ass baguette. What the, just fucking right there?
Yeah, it was gnarly. Like, I couldn't believe that I had made that happen. I'm like, what? I'm not supposed to be here right now. Like, that's not what my family does. We don't do shit like this. We stay in cars and we fucking drive locally and shit, or we just don't go anywhere. I'm like, how the fuck am I here right now?
That's when, like, I think traveling really made me go like, man, there are billions of people in the world just living their own lives. And so whatever I am thinking and my own opinions doesn't fucking matter. Everyone has their own lives, dreams, struggles, whatever situations. And they're just like, you could just sit there and people watch, right? You're like, oh, that's them on the way to work. Okay, grabbing a roll, walking, like, my own, oh, my mom wants me to go to medical school. Oh, it's like, they don't give a fuck. That's my own fucking problem.
Well, you're not even in their line of sight.
Exactly. So I'm like, who am I crying to? Just myself? Well,
and me, because I'm in the fucking room too.
I know.
Just kidding. But yeah, that was a big one for me. Because like, I just deviated so far from what was expected of me. that I'm like, I cannot believe I'm making this happen. Like, I cannot believe I'm pulling this shit off. Like, every step of the way, I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to do it. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe it worked. Like, I think that's been my life, my whole life, where I'm always going like, fuck it, I got to do it. Oh my God, I'm doing it. Oh shit, it worked. Oh fuck.
That's cutie.
That happens quite a bit in my life.
I like when we're on that little like boat thing that was going down that river, and then we got into a big ass fight.
We fought a lot.
Yeah, that was like early stages of a relationship, and then I drop the fucking lens cap.
Well, that wasn't there. I will never forget where you dropped the motherfucking lens.
I thought I dropped it off the boat.
You weren't on a boat. So we were like on the canals.
Yeah.
On these canal thingies. And then we did fight a lot, but that wasn't a moment when we were fighting. We definitely fought afterwards. But so you had bought me this camera because I showed interest in wanting to get into photography. And then I got pissed with you the entire fucking trip because you wouldn't let me you wouldn't let me play with my own fucking camera because you're like, let me see this. Oh, here. And then you would take it over and I'm like, I don't even want it anymore. Anyway, thank you for letting me vent. No matter what, years later, I'm still holding on to it. So you know, like the canals where those boats are.
Yeah.
So we climbed to the bottom, and you were taking. I was taking pictures of you, and you were posing, and then you started getting really goofy, and you were jumping, and then I think it fell out of your pocket, and then it fell into the thing, and I was like, that's the fucking last motherfucking straw. Like, not only can I not play with my camera, but you're fucking up my camera. Yeah, and I was so pissed at you.
The minute it fell in, I was like, that's the fucking last thing I need right now, because now she has more ammunition to fucking go in on.
I was so fucking pissed at you. I was like, motherfucker, dude. He fucks around too much. Yeah, I was just, funny enough, I mean, I still had a fun time on that trip. You know, we fought so goddamn much. There's even pictures of me with like red eyes and a red nose because I think I was just so angry most of the time. I was crying. Fucking hated it, but like I have nothing but really good memories of it, honestly. Like if I think back to it, I'm just like, it was so funny watching you put on my fucking pantyhose
because it was so fucking cold. I needed it.
You wore my clothes. It was also really cool that like that was the first time, and this was years ago, but that was the first time we went into a restaurant because they consume a lot of steak, right? So we're eating at the steakhouse, or not even a steakhouse, it's probably just like a regular cafe. They come and we're like, we asked for the check, but then he has like that portable machine where we just pay at the table. And I was like, is
this
only
the future?
2009, sir. Where are we living? You know, because I'm used to just going to a register.
Yeah.
And he like did that. I remember all of like the subways look super rad. Oh, fucking Paris. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, but it was such a good trip. Yeah. But yeah, my mind was blown that I like was in another country.
My fondest memory from that trip is I remember both of us were so fucking tired and jet lagged. So not only were we jet lagged, but it was cold as fuck, so we couldn't wait to be under blankets. And then we would like see the city, and they're like, okay, let's go back for a nap. We're so both fucking tired. Like, okay, cool. And jet lag. So we're like taking a nap. We're like, we'll just set the alarm for like an hour or something, and then we'll knock out. And then like it'll be like beep beep beep, and we wake up like, hey babe, do you want to just sleep like another hour? And you're like, yeah, okay. Oh. And then we'll set for another hour. And beep, beep, beep. Hey, do you want to wake up for another hour? And I remember one of the days, I think we slept the whole day away. And then we're like,
it was horrible.
And we woke up and it was like 9 p.m. or something.
It was horrible.
We're like, fuck. We wasted a whole day in Paris. What the fuck?
Yeah. That was a definite oh fuck for me for sure.
That's tight.
Is that what you say? Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Oh shit, mommy. Yeah.
Okay. That's one. Do you have another one?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking. There's a lot. There's like so many from like all different like realms.
Fine, I'll tell you another one then.
Okay, tell me.
So in college, I never knew what I wanted to do. Right. I've shared with you that like, you know, in the I Getsy like fucking JC, there's like a sheet.
Yeah, to transfer to a 4-year.
Yeah, and then like I was looking at like what I needed to do, and I was like, well, fuck, I don't even know what my major is. And I remember they showed me a sheet of all the majors, and I was like, fuck, I don't know what I want. And it's crazy to think that like at 20 years old, you should already know what you're gonna be doing for the rest of your life. Isn't that gnarly? And then you're gonna go into crazy. Anyway, was like, you're gonna go into crazy debt and you don't even know if you like it, whatever. So I remember looking at that sheet and then going, okay, I like business. Okay, well, what's under business? Okay, accounting, finance. I'm not good at that. Marketing. And I was thinking ads, commercials, and I'm like, I'll go with that.
That is it, right? Like all the ad agencies, they hire like marketers, don't
I
they?
mean, there's a bunch of things in marketing. It's such a broad, super duper broad, what is it? Major. Like you could do so much.
I see.
But I just didn't know anything else. So I was like, I'll just go into that. So did my college. I think it was like my senior or junior year at a 4-year, about to graduate. And I'm like, fuck, I have no idea what I want to do. Like, I want to eventually end up like at an ad agency. And like, I remember looking up all these ad agencies that I eventually wanted to go to, like some in London. A lot of them are actually in London. Like, marketing is huge out there at that time, at least. Like, all the top tier ones were there. And I'm like, fine, I'm going to go there. And then I don't even remember how I found out about this, but there was an internship at Universal Music. And I'm like, I fucking love music. Let's go. Applied. I get the internship. My first day on the job, it's like at the Universal building.
Yeah.
And it's like security and you got to check in and you need a badge. And then I go up to the floor. Like, everything looks very corporate in suits. Once I get to the level, the Universal Music level, that's when it was fucking rad. It was so tight. That's where I saw all the albums, or like the records and stuff. And then like they had like this boardroom that's glass, and like all the people that are signed under their label, like No Doubt, Britney Spears, like all the fucking heavy hitters of that time had all autographed this wall. And I'm like, holy motherfucking shit, everyone I love has walked these fucking grounds. I'm like, holy fuck. And that was like the first time I saw, like, the break room had like every fucking snack you can think of. They were like, it was just such a rad experience. Like, everywhere you looked, everyone's space was super fucking decked out and decorated and super artistic and stuff. That's why when you're like the Christina Milian and all that stuff, I'm like, whatever.
But that was in person though.
It was, but it was still like a whatever. Because like, she's not someone I listened to anyway.
Oh, I see.
Like, I was listening to No Doubt. I was listening to like YouTube, to YouTube. I was listening to like Wallflowers, like Lauryn Hill, like that side of things, you know?
I see.
Like pop music, I didn't give a fuck.
But seeing someone in person to me is just crazy.
It was crazy, but not like memorable. I had forgotten until you mentioned it, you know?
Like, I'll always remember when I saw Marcus Houston at Cheesecake Factory.
That's funny.
Remember when we saw him?
Yeah. And even then I was like,
this is when we first started dating, and I was like, oh shit.
We saw Usher.
I was like, is that Omarion and Marcus Houston just eating the fucking same rolls I'm eating?
Yeah, Cheesecake Factory, yeah.
I'm like,
remember we saw Usher at the fucking Bellagio in that like garden section. He walked by us, and you're like, I think that's Usher.
oh,
I think that's Usher. And I was
yeah.
nah, it's not.
Yeah.
Because you have a really good eye of finding the doppelganger.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a doppelganger thing again. I'm like, nah, it's not. And I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking Usher. And he just walked by.
Yeah. Watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, my eyes are good at catching people. I remember walking just down Caesar's Palace. And then I was like, oh, fuck, that's Robert Ory. And no one in JK really watches sports that much, except for David. And he's like, holy fuck, that is Robert Ory. What the fuck? And it was just crazy. I was like, because he's not even like a marketed star, right? He's not like a Tim Duncan or like, Kobe Bryant or whatever.
Kobe,
yeah. It was just, it's like, if you watch basketball, you know who he is. But it was just, I was like, oh shit, that's him. Like, my eyes were just caught on.
Yeah.
One of the oh shit moments that I felt that was pretty crazy was remember when they were gonna bring back In Living Color?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a big one for you.
So yeah, like In Living Color is a show. It's like the kind of legacy is Key and Peele. Everyone knows that was like they built their roots in Mad TV. Mad TV then built their roots in Living Color. So that's like the originator like type of like sketch comedy show. So it's something that me and Joe grew up on, and we fucking loved it. And
that's the come up of fucking a lot of our like the Waynes, all the Waynes brothers and sisters.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, J-Lo. Like, there's so many.
Yeah, so many people. Yeah, J-Lo even. They all came from there.
J-Lo was a dancer, not a...
all the mega stars that we know of today came from there. And a super dope casting director at the time, because that was something that's really cool about the Wayans family is when they're recasting for A Living Color, they wanted to be multicultural too, just like that. So I think they were like, oh man, we're missing like some like color in this group, right? So they end up reaching out specifically to me and Joe, and we're like, what the fuck? They want us to audition? This is crazy. None of us have really done any major auditions. I did little small things, small projects here and there, like I was in a veterans commercial and stuff like that, but nothing that was like that had this much weight attached to the project title. And I remember we got the audition date, but at the same time we're coming back from doing a show like on the East Coast or something, and then we got hit with the email, memorize these 3 scripts. You're gonna audition with these 3 scripts. And me and Joe are like, holy fuck, like we're on the plane and we're gonna land and the audition's tomorrow. I'm like, I guess we're not fucking sleeping on the plane or when we get home. We need to like memorize these things. As I'm reading, I'm like, oh shit, this is the written version of some of our favorite sketches from the show. So we're practicing, rehearsing. Fucking hearts like just like such a big thing. We go to the audition the next day. We walk into the room. So when they hold these like pre-production like type operations, they'll just rent out a whole entire giant like 2-story fucking 10-room office building just to run pre-production. Castings here, this is here, fucking writers are over here. So it was on one of those like production lots, not in like a studio, but you know how the minute you exit like Hollywood off the 101 or even Sunset off the 101, you'll see like just random Big Block Productions, Good Block Productions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those just random production buildings.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. I was like, oh no, this is what they're known for. They get rented out by random TV shows and whatever. We pull in. The person, of course, asks for our ID and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, this is that fucking movie shit. Oh shit. They go, okay, you're auditioning for this. Go up to this room. Go upstairs. I remember going upstairs to the 2nd floor. And then you see like In Living Color on the door. I'm like, oh shit, this is where they're going to do that shit. And then I walk by the little like kitchenette where there's like fridge, whatever, and I see Marlon Wayans in there. I'm like, oh fuck, that's fucking Marlon Wayans. I fucking grew up on this motherfucker watching Wayans Bros, you know? So we walk through, and my heart's like, oh, this is fucking crazy. We walk into the actual like reception area, and a lot of the stand-up comedians, white, black, Asian, whatever, of the time, are all in the same room. So I guess they're like trying to hire
Top tier.
like an actual comedian. So I'm like, oh fuck. So like we're on YouTube. This is fucking crazy. They see us at the same level. I don't even know. And you just see people kind of just in their own zone, like working on shit, right? There's probably like 15 of us. The casting person or the auditioning person comes out and goes, you know what? Scratch those scripts. We don't want that. We want to do live improv. So just come in with whatever characters, and then we're gonna do that. We'll see you guys in an hour. And then me and Joe are like, oh, like one, it's kind of like, oh shit, on 2 levels. One, it's like, cool, this is our strength. But the second part is we don't have any time to fucking prepare for this shit.
You have an hour. What are you talking about? 60 minutes.
I don't know. That wasn't enough time for me. So I was like, oh fuck. So my heart, me and Joe are like, are you nervous?
It's tight that you had Joe with you.
Yeah, that was so cool because we both kept checking in with each other.
And you guys have your chemistry, you know?
No, but we're not doing it together. We're doing it separate. So I'm like, are you nervous? Oh yeah, I'm so nervous. You're nervous too. We're both
That's
like,
cutie.
Yeah, we're both really nervous. I remember I was like, fuck, I gotta go pee. Go down the hall. I go pee. As I'm peeing, Keenan, the Wayan, walks in. And then he's like peeing next to me. And then afterwards, I was like, excuse me, sir. I just want to say I'm your biggest fan. I watched all of the In Living Color. And I'm going to audition. See you later. And I pretty much probably had the most awkward experience. And he's just such a nice, like, happy, loving guy. He just smiles at me, you know. And that was the first oh shit moment of like, oh fuck, that's fucking Keenan Ivory Wayans. This motherfucker is like, he's the guy that started In Living Color, that brought his whole family up. Like he's the top dog, you know. And then I go in the back, I go back in. I'm like, Joe, you're not believe what I just saw. I go, I saw fucking Keenan Ivory Wayans. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy. So now we go our separate ways because I got to work on my improv act. He has to work on our improv act. Even though we're there together, we're auditioning separately. So, you know, every comedian goes in. Finally, it was my turn to go in. And when I go in, it's not just Keenan. It's Keenan and like his 2 kids, his wife. They're all sitting on a couch. And so pretty much they go, okay, Mr. Kwan, whenever you're ready.
It was just him and no other people? I mean, obviously his family, but his family's not producing the show.
Yeah, just his kids, like it's like his family. So I think what they're trying to do is like they want to make sure whatever is happening hits on all levels.
Oh.
You know, like the 4 quadrant in film, like whether it's like
Got
like
it.
senior citizens, kids, mid-20s,
Got it.
married couples, whatever. So I think to him, he's like, what better focus group than my family?
Wow.
Because if I don't laugh when my kids are busting, then that's like, oh shit, it's hitting there. Or if I'm laughing, you know, so I want to see how this hits.
Yeah.
So he has his whole family there just sitting on the couch, and then the production coordinator who was like, Mr. Kwan, whenever you're ready, you know? And then so what I ended up doing was I did my own mixed act, because, you know, I did all kinds of characters. So like I had like a Hispanic guy, Asian guy, some dude from the hood, like some redneck dude. And I just did a one almost like Eddie Murphy, Tyler Perry theme that was connected into a story. So like I would walk in, and then there's like a dude that was like, get out of my town. And then I respond as this, and then another guy jumps in. So I just did a whole story that I just memorized, and the whole family was laughing. And I was like, oh shit, this is working. This is working. You know, you kind of have like, as your body is doing something, you could still kind of like be third person. I was like, oh shit, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. And I still can't believe I'm making him laugh. And when I was done, I was like, oh. And then I felt like I killed it, but who knows, you know? Then Joe's turn. He comes out. He goes, I was like, did you make him laugh? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then when the casting director hit us up and was like, both of you guys passed the first audition.
Wow.
That's when we're like, oh shit. I remember this is probably the first time me and Joe hugged, because me and Joe are like not very emotional at all. And I think we both hugged. It's like, this is fucking crazy. Only one or one, and they won both of us. It's so fucking crazy. So I think
That's so cool.
yeah, so I think we were hugging for the first time ever. And
Were your dicks touching?
I'm sure they were. Yeah, both
That's cute.
uncircumcised dicks were touching, I'm sure. And
They were
then-
hugging too.
yeah, then it was just crazy. Then all these agents and stuff from Hollywood they came out of the woodworks. I don't even know how, but man, if something is gonna go viral in the Hollywood town, it
Everyone knows.
just happens. WME wants to have a meeting. CAA wants to have a meeting. Like this person from this crazy agency wants to, like United Artists wants to, like you're just like, how the like you just keep getting voicemails. Hi, this is Roger from CAA. I'm like, how the fuck these motherfuckers get my number? That's fucking great. Because we're so new to this space. We didn't even show up to the audition with like headshot and resume, which is what was the norm at the time, right? All the other stand-up comedians, they're so used to it, they show headshot and resume. For me and Joe, we just told the casting director, do you think we remember our stuff? So I don't even know where they got our number or whatever. And but even like going through CAA and seeing those buildings that look all crazy futuristic, you know, like fuck, Oprah is represented here. Tom Cruise is represented here.
That is oh shit.
Yeah, you're just like, oh shit. And I could have sworn sitting in front of me, just in the couch, was Moby, the DJ.
Yeah, he's a pretty
And at that time, he was huge.
not too many people look like Moby.
Yeah, and I was
back
just
then.
I was just sitting there, and I was like, hey, Joe, I think that's fucking Moby, and he's just fucking sitting there like a regular person. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Damn.
Yeah, that whole experience was fucking crazy.
You have a ton of oh shit moments like that.
A lot of it did come from JK, as you were saying, because I think that opened a lot of doors, and
Yeah.
then we just kind of said yes to, you know, everything. And especially in that YouTube space at that time, it's a very like wild west, so
Yeah.
you just did what felt right, and you just keep going.
Yeah. Damn. Well, shit, man. I feel like we can keep talking and going on for like fucking hours about this, because like as you're speaking, I'm going, oh yeah, I have another one.
See?
So maybe we need like a part 2.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, where I feel like a lot of these things, you know, as we live life, some of these really cool memories kind of get buried.
Yeah.
And then but they're so cool that it happened, that it's cool to share with people, because it's like it's a peep into a different world, or it's extremely inspiring. Like, and even like my Taika example, I'm sure he's gonna go through his little oh shit moments. I'm gonna be able to relate to him on it, or I can even help him through some of them. Oh, you know what I would have done differently if I were to audition for a big thing? I would have done, you know. And I can like, it's just so cool.
That is super cool. Okay, well then let us know in the comments if we should be doing a part 2 of all of our oh shit moments, because holy fuck, I got a ton. I'm sure you have a lot more too. So yeah, let us know. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.